evening, Council.
Good evening.
82 St. Paul Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. Kiwanda Shabazz Henry. I'm coming to the Council this evening of two pertinent issues to discuss today. One is about Mark Newton, Andrea Rutty Newton, Qawi Newton, Qadir Newton, Winter Jamila Low Womack. They're the squatters of Newark, New Jersey. They're the ones who move into abandoned houses, move into abandoned apartments, move into apartments and don't pay rent. The problem is not that they don't pay rent. The problem is what they do to the neighbors and the neighborhood and the city of Newark. They continue to get victims. I'm their 75th victim. They have victim number 76 and 77 who contacted us after they were evicted from the house of 80 St. Paul next door to it. Prior to them being evicted, it took 4.5 years for me to make everyone aware of how serious the situation was. We came before you guys. I spoke to many of you in private. Sora, thank you for the kind words. Barack, you haven't done anything so far. However, you moved up a few notches when you spoke at my cousin's funeral, and I spoke to your brother, and I do appreciate that. Problem is, Mark Newton is across the street from my cousin. Her 5 children and her husband are still there. So are we going to wait until they attack them? I just want to know. Ronald Rice, you not only came out, you came to court. You came to grand jury. You knocked on the door. You made it aware that I know you broke into this house, that even if the Henrys were the worst people on the face of this earth, you are still wrong. You made it aware that this man had already had 4 other victims on my block of 80 St. Paul. I have one of his victims here who spent $80,000 trying to get rid of this man. This man has put charges on myself, my husband, my children. I have a list of his victims. We have 2 of his new victims, 76 and 77, who read the story in the paper, came to my door and said, am I going to have to go through the 4.5 years that you went through? And I say, I hope I have paved the way that it won't be that struggle. We have the prosecutor's office who are making deals with us, the victim, with the criminals, telling us to put our charges away. They'll put their charges away. We did it once. We did it once, and what happened was it made him stronger. He attacked my husband, and by any means necessary, I protected my husband with what was legal and what was registered. I got my no bill on March 7th. I'm here to let you know that he's still in Newark, and guess what? He's not in the West Ward. Barack, he in your ward. What you gonna do? There ain't no reason for him to be here. He's doing nothing but collecting victims. Why? I'm born in this town, raised in this town, graduated from Science High. I see y'all over there. Fairleigh Dickinson University, I did what you guys told me to do. I came back to my city and I brought property. And you know what I brought? I brought the courage to fight. I want Mark Newton, Andrea Newton, Qadir Newton, Qawi Newton, and Winter Womack to face charges. 75 victims I think is enough. I think it's enough. With everything that I've lost, and I'm not going to say he took it away. It was a stressful time, 4.5 years to go in and outside of your doorstep, being harassed, being told I'm going to kill your family, being told that if you don't pay me $15,000, I'm going to kill your family. You know what? I told everyone. I told Captain Yablonsky. Sheila Cooley, before she became chief, she sat down with me and told me she knew about this man in the 80s.
Excuse me, can I, I don't mean to, but are you done, ma'am?
No, I'm not.
Okay, finish up and then we'll respond.
Okay, because my second is what I had to sacrifice. My young black female from Newark, my child, I had to take her out of kindergarten downtown Newark, where she only spent 4 months because she was moved to first grade because she was reading at the age of 4. Did what I was supposed to do, educated in Newark. Star Academy due to the fact that there are rules and regulations, and I'm fine with rules and regulations, that she had to be put in kindergarten. I made them aware of our situation and what was going on. Sometimes I was displaced from my home because of the fact that I protected my family by any means necessary. So I explained to them. They're telling me now that my daughter can't be put into her correct grade. I would be fine with that. However, my taxes went up. I live here. I own here. The principal last year that was the principal of the school, her daughter was in my daughter's class. The last person who did that was a woman from another town. It was in the news. She was arrested and fined. What makes it different in the city of Newark?
Ma'am, your time is up. Thank you very much.
And just take advantage?
Thank you.
I would be fine.
Councilman Baraka?
Yeah, what I wanted to say is, that this, people are clapping. I'm sure maybe they know something I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out exactly what's happening, because if you went to all of these police agencies, the Newark Police, the prosecutor's office, and I don't understand. You have to give me some more. I mean, I don't understand why these people have not been arrested or anything
that's the front page paper of the Star Ledger. Yeah. I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you guys. I've stopped every single one of you guys in your track. You came to the Eid a few years ago. Me and my husband stopped you. Pretty much, you told us we were screwed. And I took it, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm from Newark. I'm not going to stop there.
Well, what I'm telling you, ma'am, is so first, you know, as council people, what we can do is urge the law enforcement to do what it is that we think that they're supposed to do. We can send them and urge that they do something. Of course, we can't arrest anybody ourselves. You know this. We can urge the prosecutor, the police, and I think at this point, if we get more information, maybe we should urge the state attorney general to further look into what's going on.
We did that. We have about 10 letters from the attorney general.
Ma'am, hold on, please. Your time is up. Thank you.
You doing it and us doing it are two different things. So
okay.
Us trying to, you know, us as a council or my office or whatever, because I don't want to speak for everybody else, get all of the information that we can get and urge somebody to look into this. If you went to these people and there are actual crimes that are being committed, then there needs to be some action on this. I mean, if you went to the local police, you just listed all these police officers, these captains, the Essex County prosecutor. I mean, if there's some laws that's been broken, these people need to be brought to justice. If something else is happening, we need to write a letter to the Attorney General asking him to investigate what's happening here. But I will speak to my captain in the South Ward to see if he has any knowledge.
I emailed him this morning and updated him.
I'm going to speak to my captain in the South Ward so that we could try to get him involved or at least find out what's going on, particularly. Unfortunately, just because we say things, the police are not going to move on it. They need some evidence. So I think we need to sit down with the captain, and I think Captain Venable is amenable to whatever, you know, that's lawful, and see what this is about and try to get some forward motion on this right now.
Okay.
Councilman Rice.
Yeah, let me just say to the Henrys, I'm just glad to see you here, still fighting a good fight. And to my colleague, Councilman Baraka, we can, if you can have Keith just talk to James from my staff, we can give you a lot of the history, because we've been fighting for years with these folks as they basically terrorized St. Paul Avenue. And I would say that the first thing you do read is what Ms. Henry says, that is, you need to read the Star Ledger expose article that they did on them, because really it lays open exactly what they did. It's not so much that they're getting away with crimes. The lead of that family knows the legal system better than a lot of us do. A person could be a lawyer, and so there's a movie Michael Keaton was in called Pacific Heights, where somebody moved into an apartment and just tore the place apart, and they couldn't evict them, and they couldn't get him out. This is almost exactly like this. And so this person was a squatter, fought the bank in terms of who was ownership of it. The bank tried to get him out. They did it wrong in court, so he got to stay until they could go back to court. When he gets charged with police actions, he then throws charges on the people who are complaining about him, and then it becomes a back and forth. I mean, all kinds of, these people are good. And I think maybe 4 years ago, they came before the council, and got mad because I was working with the family and said I wasn't doing my job. You know, I was picking sides, and they were the problems, and I know the problems are on that street. I know the problems are on that ward, and so it took us the longest time to get them out. And they're still doing some things, allegedly. I want to say allegedly. Still doing some things that harass. So I think Henry's just saying is there's a lot of background for this, for Captain Venerable to take a look at. But they're good at doing what they do in terms of manipulation. And we sent letters to the FBI. We sent letters to the Attorney General's office in the state and in the federal folks. But any more we can do going forward, because while he's not a headache in the West, he continues to be a headache in the city of Newark. And we got to make sure that that person is expurgated in some kind of way out of doing the kind of things that he's been doing in the community. So I just want to commend you all and say we just got to keep working. We just got to keep working.
What's the address?
453 South 11th Street.
Councilwoman,
Yes.
your mic up.
Yes.
Is it on?
There it is.
First, let me say I feel you. I just said to Councilman Baraka, knowing the history of what you and your husband and your family have gone through over the last, it seems like it's longer than 4 years, you couldn't make it up. But to the point, I thought that when he went to court and the judge evicted him, there were certain conditions based on his past reputation, you know, that if he, I don't know, crossed the street, you know, in front of your house, he would be arrested. There would be any kind of harassment, he would be arrested. So is it that the court did not make it clear what the punishment should be, or the extent of the punishment?
The court is afraid of him. I'm going to be honest. Judge Rothschild, Judge Frasca, Judge Rosenberg, everyone, they all sit there and they cater to him. No one wants to be in his wrath. This man did this since 1985. If it was not for me and my husband bringing him to the forefront, he would still be collecting victims. Everyone in this room, your family, log on. Mark Newton, North New Jersey. Google it, send it to your family, Facebook it, because he don't care what victims he get. Pass it on. And he does go tri-state.
He is a frightening person. You're absolutely right. But the courts, I'm back to how we can, I don't want to say rearrest him, but how we can make him the victim and not the families that he attacks. And so you're saying that the judge, I can believe the judges are afraid of him. I mean, I'm not afraid of much, but I'm afraid of him. And I'm sure Councilman Rice, you know, because he does threaten. But is he on parole? Were there any conditions? Because I remember clapping my hands when I opened the Star Ledger and saw that he had been evicted.
They do nothing but allow him to play the system. We don't have money to educate our children. However, we sit in court with Mark Newton for 8 hours out of a day while he is pro se with his victims lined up. All of his working victims. He's not going for what's his name on the corner. He's up in the West Ward. He's in people houses, people who work, people who have gotten educated, people that is out there making lives and making the community and making the world better. He's not coming for Joe Smo. He's coming for the hard-working community of Newark. And he's been doing it for 25 years. Stop him. Because in 10 years, my son will be 18. He's going to look through his files and realize that my son is 18 years old, and then he's going to start putting charges against him. The Attorney General needs to be contacted. The Attorney General, it makes no sense when I pass Christie and he's saying to me, how's the Newton situation? It makes no sense when I pass DiVincenzo. He goes, hi, Miss Henry, how's the Newton situation? Are you serious? How's the Newton situation? He's still in Newark, New Jersey. Do something about it. Not saying that I want him to go out of state and collect more victims, but he in my town. Get him out.
you, Mayor.